Hello everyone, my name is Akshay and welcome back to a brand new FPL video. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the highest predicted points, best free hit team that you can possibly get according to Fantasy Football Hub. Quickly before we get into the video, if you do enjoy it, please do leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And also comment down below if you have any questions regarding the upcoming blank game week 32. If you don't know what Fantasy Football Hub is, it is a place where you can get all the best FPL information like complete Opta stats, FPL expert managers' opinions and their team selections early before they've announced it on their social media, and just a whole ton of amazing information to help you gain ranks and do a lot better in FPL. If you do want to sign up, my link will be at the top of the description. Trust me, I wouldn't be plugging it to you guys if it wasn't worth your while, so make sure you check it out if you're interested. So anyway, here it is, the best predicted game week 32 free hit team according to Fantasy Football Hub. So in goal they have Johnston, and then in defense Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Trippier. In the midfield Salah, Saka, Odegaard and Maddison, and then up front they've got Jesus, Tony and Isak, and then on the bench Iverson, Willian, Castagna and Smith. So if you guys notice, there is a very common theme here. Every single player in this team is playing at home this week. Fantasy Football Hub do favour home fixtures tremendously. If there's a player playing away who might seem like a better pick, if a team is playing away, they do kind of knock down a few points off the predicted points for that specific player, which is probably why you're not seeing any away players here. There are certain parts of the team that I personally wouldn't go with, but as a majority, the team is a very, very strong team and is actually predicted to gain 73 points for this week. So in goal, Fantasy Football Hub believe that Johnston is the best keeper. However, there are a few other keepers who are very, very good options for this week. So Ramsdale is actually the highest predicted points goalkeeper out of any players, but you probably wouldn't want to waste your one of the free Arsenal assets on an Arsenal keeper, which is why he isn't really in the squad. So there's also some other good options. You've got Pope, you've got Iverson, you've got Leno, you've got Sarr. So there are a lot of good options, and even Martinez, if you think, because Aston Villa are on amazing form at the moment and they're not conceding many goals, so if you think that they're going to turn over Brentford, Martinez is also a really good pick. And then in defence, I do understand why it's very Liverpool dominated, because they do play Nottingham Forest. So it's Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, and then also Robertson is the third highest predicted points defender, but Trippier has fitted in this team because obviously you need Salah in your team, which is why you can't have a triple Liverpool defence. In my opinion, most people are probably going to be going with Trent and Robertson. For my team, you guys will see my video on my free hit selection on Wednesday, so make sure you don't miss that. There are a few different players in my team than compared to this team. I've already made my changes. Of course, it might change after the Liverpool game tonight. If you do want to go a little bit differential, I'd personally recommend Van Dijk over Robertson because, like I said, I feel like everybody's going to go Trent and Robertson. So yeah, it's just something to consider. And actually, in the last 5 games, Van Dijk has had the highest expected goals out of any of the Liverpool defenders, which is quite interesting. But yeah, anyway, moving on to the midfield. Of course, Salah is going to be the captain for near enough 99% of FPL managers this week. If you're trying to catch rank or something like that, you could be really risky and maybe go for, well, not risky, I guess. You could go massively differential, maybe captain a Jesus or one of the Arsenal boys. But yeah, majority of FPL managers are going to captain Salah this week. And then for the rest of the midfield, it is Saka, Odegaard and Maddison. Saka and Odegaard, of course, they're going to also be in a lot of people's teams. I personally would go with Martinelli over Odegaard, but Odegaard is actually predicted more points than Martinelli for this week. But I believe it's around 8 game weeks in a row that Martinelli's returned, which is absolutely crazy. He's on really, really good form for Arsenal. Unfortunately, Saka missed the penalty because Martinelli would have got another assist in the game on Sunday. So yeah, quite annoying. But I personally, like I said, would have Martinelli instead of Odegaard, but either or is good. And then finally, Maddison. So an interesting fact here. It was the first time all season that Man City had a lower expected goals than their opponent at home all season. So Leicester actually had a higher expected goals than Man City in the game on Saturday, which is not something that you see very often, which was why I felt that was quite a cool stat to see. Leicester literally could have scored about 3 goals in the last 15 minutes, and they were really, really good chances. They weren't just half chances, they were literally chances they should have been putting away. So they got very unlucky, and obviously Maddison, we all know that his underlying stats have been very good, even though Leicester haven't been playing very well, and it is a matter of time, like I've been saying, that they have a nice running coming up. They showed promise in the game against Man City, especially in the second half, maybe not in the first half. So if there's one player that is going to do something in that team, it is going to be Maddison. And then up front there is Gabriel Jesus, Tony and Isak. Of course, Gabriel Jesus, since he's been back in the squad, he's had 3 returns in a row, a 7, 7 and a 12, I believe. In my opinion, he's a must-have in the attacking line for this week for your team. And then Tony, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm not fully convinced with Tony. It's out of Tony or Kane, and I'm going back and forth whether to pick Tony or whether to pick Kane. I'm just not 100% sure yet. The only thing I'm worried about with Tony, well, I guess Kane's the same reason, is they both have very difficult fixtures. Aston Villa have now won 5 games on the bounce, and they're not conceding a lot of goals either. And obviously Brentford have been in terrible form recently. So you could make a case for Tony, or like I said, Kane is the other option, but Kane and Tottenham are away to Newcastle, and it is never easy going to St James's Park. And Newcastle obviously will be looking for a massive bounce back. And then the final striker that is in the Fantasy Football Hub's best predicted free hit team is Isak. I personally wouldn't be picking Isak this week. If you guys have noticed, the most informed striker in the league away from Haaland, Ollie Watkins, is not in this team. And I personally would be putting him in the team. Even though they play Brentford away, he's a must-have in your team at the moment. I don't actually have him in my own personal team, which has been a mistake of mine. But he just keeps on providing every single week at the moment. He's returning, and he's returning big. So yeah, must have in your team. And then the bench is kind of irrelevant. However, overall in the team, I feel like it's majorly lacking Aston Villa players. So Watkins, even Jacob Ramsey is a really good option. And then Alex Moreno is a really good option as well. And then, like I said, Martinez earlier. So that's one of the things I might change quite drastically from my team compared to the Fantasy Football Hub's predicted team. But yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts on this team. I'm really interested to see what you guys are going to be doing this week, because I know a lot of you are free hitting. Obviously, if you have any other questions away from the free hit, if you're not free hitting, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll do my best to help you guys out. But other than that, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave it a like and also subscribe. And I will see you on Wednesday for my personal free hit team that I'm going to be doing for Game Week 32.